Right, so I've come back out to a place I like to be for nothing more than just to have a campfire. Now I have done a little bit of prep, turning the camera on, so I've dug a bit of a hole down as far as I can. I didn't bring a spade, so unfortunately I've got that down as far as I can. Let's find my chair. As always, anytime you come out places like this, make sure you've got something for a shelter. And while it's not being a shelter, it makes a very good chair. They have said we might get some snow later, so we will see how that works out. Need to take a few more of these smaller twigs. It's not too much of an abundance of those at the moment. It's a little wet. Pull off some of the small ones. Pop it here. I've made a slightly different fire than what I normally do. My normal fire, obviously, basically the same. Base in the bottom with some logs, nice side facing up, so it'll catch the sparks nicely. These two logs here that I've got making kind of a trough, and the idea of that is there's a lot of snow under here, so it's this time of the year, I'm afraid. There's a lot of snow under here, so I am going to just mix up a few of these in here. I do have my ever trusty cotton ball in the bottom. Like I say, this stuff is actually pretty wet. It's not the best of material for lighting this fire at the moment, but it's what I have, so it's what I have to use. So I do have a cotton ball in there. It's going to be a bit of a shot to... Oh, look at that. I was going to say it's going to be a bit of a shot to actually get a spark to land on. And lo and behold, it did. Now in the bases of split trees, where the trees fall over and split, you find a lot of this. It's just like thin, very thin slices of wood. And I can tell you now, this stuff is usually the best for getting fires going. Because look at that, I mean, it's thin, it's going to take a spark really well. I can shape this down if I want to. I can make it a little bit smaller, get some small bits off it. Although looking at this, I actually thought that might be a bit of a struggle because this wood is actually pretty wet. So you can make feather sticks and stuff, which is great, but what you want is edges like this, which is what a feather stick is. It's just a lot of edges, but this all has nice thin edges too. So you'll find that this will actually take pretty quick. See all these nice pieces here? You find those where the trees are snapped off, find lots of those. I will put that on there for now. I do have some smaller pieces here that I can put on there. My wood stash is over here, so I'm going to see how this gets going. Oh, that was quite the slog in here. I had these boots on. The snow was over these boots for most of the walk in here. Yeah, that was a bit of a trudge. Yeah, I would normally set the camera up over this way, but this time of the year the sun is getting a little higher, which is good. When I set off this morning, halfway here it was just nothing but fog. I almost thought, you know, what the hell am I doing? Might as well turn around and go back. I thought, nah, perseverance, keep going. Nothing ventured in life, nothing gained. So here I am. And I'm glad I did, because I went over a couple of ridges and down a piece of forestry road, and then, hey presto, I suddenly find myself in blue skies. I will take that. Yeah. As you can see, this is as far as away. I thought I was going to struggle to get that going, but if I had a spade with me, I could have dug a decent sized hole, but I didn't. I had to dig that one with a log. Actually, I dug that hole with this log. Now, use this as a spade and a nice little handle on there. Just use this to break it up, and then use this as a scraper. So take this, bust up your snow like this, and then scrape her out. keep going until you're down to something that hopefully is not too much snow. I have these are some of those drier pieces at the bottom of the trees where they break off. It's almost going punky, this wood, but I can tell you now, it takes a spark and it gives us some heat to get going. A bit of bark there, and it'll work. Let's dry these. I'll put these pieces across here just to dry them out. It's already going pretty good in there. I'm actually quite impressed with that. Yeah. I thought I was going to struggle more today to get a fire going. And we will see over time how big a hole it makes. It will burn a decent sized hole in there. Right, I will do some more in a bit. I'm just going to get myself organised, find some more small firewood, and do another bit in a moment. Alright, the fire is up and away. We are cooking with gas, so they say. So, let's turn it around there. There we go. Right. This fire's a little bit higgledy-piggledy. What I'm going to do is, once I've got some coals in here and got a bit of heat, these two logs here, I will actually separate them like this. And the idea of that is to let the fire drop down between these two. That's the idea. So I made a little wedge to contain the coals when I first started. So I had 3 logs in the bottom, 2 logs close together to make a V. Built the fire in the V like that. Now I've got some embers in there. I've moved those 2 apart so that the heat can get down to the base logs in here. And as you can see, people think this stuff doesn't burn when it's wet. This wood is wet. Right? This is literally, I just dragged most of this out the snow. So this shows you how it burns. So the other reason that you need to be careful this time of the year, our fire season has actually started earlier this year. We could do earlier actually, because the forests are dry. I mean, you look at the forest around here, you think there's no way it can burn, but I can tell you now, if the fire got up in the canopy of these trees, because the sap hasn't risen, there's no moisture in these trees at the moment, so you'd be surprised. That stuff would burn like so fast, it's insane. So that's why it's very important. I know that underneath here, I have had, anybody that follows my videos will know that I've had numerous campfires here before. So I know that under here it's all stone and rock. Under this piece, there's a log here, and I know between the 2 points that is exactly where the fire pit is. Yeah, so never too worried about that. I have plenty of nature's fire extinguishers. You chuck a handful of that in the middle of the fire, trust me, that ain't burning for long. But this stuff, you look at this, I've just pulled it. This is actually wet, it feels wet. But watch, if I put some of that on there, see how quickly that goes? Yeah. So even though it's winter, even though there's snow everywhere, you still have to be very aware of the fire situation. And also you have to be aware of which way the wind is blowing, which is why I've just moved back over here, because the wind has decided to blow my way, bringing all the smoke with it. I was absolutely roasted on the way out here. I got my jacket and pack and all that kind of crap on. It's absolutely roasted on the way out here. So it's minus, I think we're -9 at the moment, which in sweatshirt, I have a sweatshirt and one layer underneath, that's it. But it's around here -9 in the winter. It actually doesn't feel that bad. Next week it's going to be back into the -20s. Now that's cold. You need to keep the coat on when it's -20. But -9, that's actually not bad. Yeah, I'll take that. I'm just going to let that die down, but this is what I've done is just cut a few pieces off so that I can show you how it goes, and it makes a lot of heat, but not for long. But I need a bit of heat just to get these other logs going. Yeah. Once these logs start to burn, fine. I've got about another 20 or 30 of those cut up and stacked over there, so not short of firewood, not in this location, which is why I came here today. I didn't fancy cutting and splitting firewood. I do have all my tools and everything in there that I need. Got my saw, of course. This thing, like, it's just insane. I love this thing. Yeah, one of the best tools I ever bought. This was. Yeah. Out of noise, so I'm just making sure my bear spray is within very quick reach. Quick, run shot. Although it's winter and people think bears sleep all winter, they don't. They are less active in the winter. They're not inactive. See, look at this. This stuff is a little small now considering the size of the fire, but I need some heat in there, fast heat, just to get these bigger logs burning. Once they start to go, I ain't too worried about it. Because I've moved those apart a bit just to create a gap. I will keep this little one. Always handy to have a stick just to move stuff around. Yeah, we're starting to melt down through the snow here already. Yeah, I think I'll keep that one. Right, I think we are away. So, without further ado, I have my tea, of course. Can't do anything without my tea. I'm also hungry. Now, I didn't bring a fork with me for cooking sausage rolls, but this is the other reason why I've said in the past I like sausage rolls, because I could find a stick and warm it up, but I can eat it just as is. That is good. The advantage of these is there's a lot of energy in here, and hot or cold I can eat them. Don't have to do any prep or anything like that. Open the packet and eat it. And I can tell you now, these things are good. They are nice hot. However, you can also eat them cold. So always a good thing to have with you coming out for a day. Right, I am going to Wait for the smoke to get out of my eyes. That's rather nice. Right, let's let this fire get going, and I'll do some more in a bit. Right, well, I've come around here a little because smoke was getting a bit so shift around to this side. The sun might be a bit bright on this side, I don't know. We shall see. Just let that do its thing. I think what I will do, I don't want to sit too close to the fire, otherwise the smoke is continually in your face. But you want to be close enough that you can feel the heat. I can feel the heat coming off it, but I don't want to be close enough that I'm drawing all the smoke to my direction. So, the bigger stuff's starting to burn in there now. There's, as you can see, there's still a amount of snow over there. Where's my other little spade? There it is. Close to the fire. Now the smoke is coming my way. Of course, I have a bit of a bomb in the back. Clear this out a little touch. Clear as much of that away as you can around it, because it'll just melt and disappear into your fire otherwise. As it softens up, it just becomes a little bit easier for me to move. But, this snow, for most of it, it's probably, I don't know, 2 feet of snow right there, easy. Maybe a bit more, 2.5. Either way, for most of the time when it's cold, you can just walk on top of the snow. This time of the year, it's a little bit of a pain in the rear end because -9, it's firm, but it's not solid. Like next week, we got some serious -20 coming back next week. So once the -20 comes back, you'll just be able to walk on top of this snow. You just walk on it. Yeah. Which is why it's a little bit of a pain this time of the year, because you have to walk through the snow, not on the snow, and that's a big difference, unfortunately. So what I am going to do is rescue my flask out of the snow. There we go. Let's make a table. On the table. The last thing you want to do is put your tea in the snow because it will cool down too fast. Boy. And this is what makes it all worthwhile. Come out in the middle of nowhere, get a fire going, sit and drink some tea, make a little video, bring people along for the day just to see what it is I do on the weekends. And hey presto, I can actually see ground under there. That snow wasn't as deep as I thought there. That's good. It was only about 1 foot deep there. So that's actually good. Yeah, it's a lot deeper over there because it drifts between the trees. But, that's what makes it difficult to walk between them. That is some good tea. That's nice. Look at that. Oh yeah, go away, smoke. See it's a double-edged sword really, because when the wind's blowing this way you get all the heat from the fire coming. It's actually really nice. You feel that heat hitting you, and then unfortunately brings the smoke with it. Look at that. That is some nice dry wood. I split this up the other year, so that's been sitting there for a while now. I hide them underneath trees in the shadow of the tree there, just to keep as much of the snow off as possible. Oh, that is good. That is really good. And you may be wondering, why on earth did I come out here today to make a campfire, trudge through Christ knows how much snow to get here, just for the sake of having a campfire and a cup of tea. And that is exactly the reason that I did it, is so that I can just sit here, have a campfire and a cup of tea. Yeah. But, this time of the year, it's a very busy, very stressful time of the year. So anything you can do in life to de-stress that, to get rid of that tension and what have you. This is not just good physical exercise. Next week I'm actually yeah, I'm a number I'm not even going to mention. No, not even going to say. But I have a birthday coming up. Let's just put it that way. And I'm not even counting anymore. The day will come, and probably not too far from now, where I won't be able to do this. This pack and belt I know weighs about 35 pounds, so it's not too bad. My bigger pack is about 40 pound all told, but this is about 35 pounds, so that's actually not too bad. So not only is it good physical exercise, it's good mental exercise too. It's good for the mind, it's good for the body. Yeah, and I have to say, this blue sky is just amazing. I almost, at one point, the fog was so bad, I probably couldn't see 100 yards in ahead of me. Literally, 100 yards, couldn't see. And I almost thought, Christ, it was getting worse and worse and worse. I thought I might have to turn around. But I've done that here before now. And you get these fog bands, and it's just like, you're driving down the road, you've got a clear road like this, and then suddenly, poof, you're in fog. And as soon as people do that on the highway, they will slam on the brakes because it's suddenly in fog, and then you get these big accidents happen because people are idiots. Yeah. And then you just drive through them, you come out the other side, and it's just like you just went through a wall, and you're the other side of the fog. Yeah. I had a feeling as I was driving down the road, and I saw the top of one of the mountains over that way, and I thought, if I can see that mountain top, I just saw it through a glimmer in the cloud. And I thought, if I can see that mountain top, there's a good chance there's sunshine over there. And sure enough, there was. And that, I have to say, is a very nice cup of tea. Congratulations to the guy that made it. I collected some more of these bits. These are the bits at the bottom of trees where they fall over. Always look for these, because you listen to that. That is good dry wood. It burns fast, that's the only thing. It burns fast, but God, does it burn good. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, get that one around there. This is where having my tongs helps. I don't have them with me today. So if you look at what I'm doing here, I'm just poking some of these bits in the sides, in the holes, right? Because that keeps the fuel load in the bottom. Keeps that heat going. As the snow is melting, it's a constant battle. You can actually see which way the wind is blowing here, because the other side of the fire, this is clear on here, the other side of the fire isn't. so that that's all melting and getting underneath the fire, and that will actually extinguish that side of the fire. And I don't really want to move the whole fire this way. I could, but I don't really want to. It does melt. It melts around. And the secret is to just keep moving it out of the way. Put another bit of fuel in the back there. This stuff's really dry and punky. Breaks real easy. It burns fast. Get some heat around the back of there. Just let that warm through. Right. I have brought something else with me today, and I'm going to do a different video as well in with this one at the same time. Right. The other week I did a video, and it was just one on the Ohuhu stove, and I have had numerous comments from people, and one of the comments I got from a guy was actually a very valid point. It was although I went through how the Ohuhu stove worked and all this kind of stuff, I didn't really go through it in great detail, so you couldn't see what I was doing. So with me today I have my cook kit. In my cook kit I have everything. Always have various kits. Always make sure you keep everything separate too, so that you know what you got, where it is. Anytime you take anything out, put anything down, make sure you know where all your bits and pieces are. In here I have all the bits of my stove. That's all this lot. I have my pot. I have one of these. This is one of these survival shelter thingies. They're very small. They pack up to nothing. They actually fit inside my cook kit, and it's just one of those things that can separate you from the environment. People say, what is shelter? Well, in the right circumstances, that is shelter, because it keeps the wind off, keeps the cold off, helps retain some of the heat, and it's bright orange, makes it easy for people to see. It's just one of those little survival bivvy things. You know, they make all kinds of claims, and they show all these fantastic pictures. However, it's pretty much a use it once kind of thing, but very handy to have with you, especially around here. Always have a roll of wire. I've got picture wire. This is just normal picture wire. This picture wire I can use for anything. If I was making a Swedish torch, I can use it just to wrap it. If I'm making snares to catch rabbits and stuff, because basically that's all you're going to catch this time of the year around here is rabbits. They're everywhere. The bloody rabbits are. I saw snowshoe hair footprints everywhere on the way out here, and rabbit track everywhere. So if you were out here and you needed food, roll the wire, you can make yourself some snares. Don't do as I'm doing, touch it all the bloody time, because once you touch it like this all the time, it puts your scent on it, and it is actually really bad. However, there are ways of cleaning the scent off of here, which I won't go into at the moment. In here I have all the bits of the Ohuhu stove. I brought my pot with me as well, because if I decide to boil up some water, I'm going to make smoke now. Because in here I have wood pellets. I should have some oatmeal I have with me. Some more snackies. This stuff's good to have with you. This is always good to have. This is just everyday trail mix. I just bring it with me. This stuff will actually keep you going for quite some time. Like that. So, Ohuhu stove. Here we go again. These are all the parts of the Ohuhu stove. The base, the fire basket, the top, and the twin-walled burner. Right. So let's go through these. He said I didn't really show what was going on and why, and he couldn't really understand what I was saying. Right, this is the piece that goes on the top. You can leave the little feet folded in if you put in a small pot on here. And I did hear people say when these things first come out, oh, you can't cook with small pots. You can, you just fold the feet in. It's almost like they designed it that way, right? If you cook in a bigger pot, just fold them out like this. Pot fits on top. Job done. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? And that goes in there. This is the fire basket. And this is the piece that I think people have trouble with Ohuhu stoves. This fire, although I lit it from the top and it's burning down through, basically this is a bottom-up fire. If I was to fill this with wood pellets now and set fire to it, if I could somehow support it like that, set fire to it, the air would come in through these holes in the bottom, burn the charge, hey presto, bottom up fire, right? Right, how this actually works is the other way around, and the secret is this. If you look here, there's a twin wall, there's a gap here in the side, right? That's crucial. So your fuel goes in here, your basket sits inside, and I've left the bottom off for a moment, so just so you can see. So in here we have the air holes around the top, we have the fire basket, we have the holes in the bottom. When you first light these, and you've got charge in there, what's going to happen is air will come in. That's how it goes together like that. Air will come in through these holes, it will come up through those holes in the bottom, and it will actually burn as a bottom up fire, sorry. So that's when it first starts. Then the magic happens, because as this is burning, it's heating this inside wall. The inside wall of the stove here is heating. As it heats, the air that's coming up through these holes goes up through that side slot, goes up through there and comes out these holes, because the inside of this is hot, and it allows the air to rise. The hot air rises and it will suck air in and up through there. As it does that, in the bottom of here, it's going to create a low pressure area in here. So you've got high pressure, low pressure. Pressure always flows from high to low. So that's full of charge. If you could somehow support that mid-air like that and make it burn, you would find that air would come through here and it would just burn upwards like that. There's nothing to trap the air and make it go up this slot until you put this piece on. Now the air that's coming in there has to go up through that side, through here, through that little side piece, has to go up through there. Unfortunately you can't see it very well from there. Yeah, it has to go up through the side there. Now as it's doing that, it's creating flow in through these holes, up through that twin wall side, because it's been heated from the inside, so the air's coming up out these holes. As it does that, it's dragging the wood gas out. Now, I've mentioned this many times in the past. If you look at that fire, what you're seeing burning is actually wood gas. It's not the wood itself, it's the wood gas. It gasifies it. So how that works is, wood is obviously a hydrocarbon. So imagine you've got carbon and hydrogen. Go away, smoke. Right in the middle of telling, the smoke suddenly decides it's coming this way. Go on, swing around the other way. Go on, I know you want to. Go on, go. Bugger. Anyway, this smoke, by the way, is incomplete combustion, so I need more flame. So bad on Dave, need more flame. It's going. It's going. Go on, go. Right, there it's going. Right, so you've got carbon and hydrogen. That's all your bonds, right? How fire works is when you break these bonds, the carbon and hydrogen in there, they're very unstable in wood. If you take a piece of wood, if you take this piece of wood, the bonds that are holding this together, the sunlight has created the hydrocarbons. Oh, go away, smoke. Go on, get out of it. It knows I'm making a video, see? It knows. It's like that. It's the fire gods. Go on, smoke gods and fire gods. Go there, the other side. Yeah. I know you want to. Right, either way. Right. So the carbon and hydrogen that's in here is not overly stable. Yeah? It is stable until you start to break those chains. When you apply heat to the wood, about 250, I think it is, something like that, 250 degrees, those bonds break. So the carbon and the hydrogens settle out. So you've got CN, H2N, so basically twice as much hydrogen as you have carbon. The carbon will form carbon dioxide as it reacts with the oxygen in the air. The other gas that you get, or the other product that you get, is water. So there's your H2O. When you break those bonds, imagine this is the chemical bonds. When you break those bonds, there's a release of energy. That release of energy creates that chain reaction, which is burning. That started with a spark, and if I kept piling fuel on that and just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and put these trees on it, it will just continue to burn. It doesn't matter how much fuel you put on it, it will just continue to burn because those bonds will continue to break. That's the important thing. So the gas that's coming off of here is now coming out through these holes on the bottom here. Your wood gas is coming out through these holes. It burns from the top downwards, so the gas is coming out through here. It mixes with the oxygen that's coming in here. It goes up the side of there, through that slot on the side there, goes up through that slot, comes out through these nice little holes on the top here, and now you've got a really good mixture of air and wood gas. That is going to burn, and it's going to burn really well. This is why these things are so damned efficient. These things are just insane. The amount of wood that's in that fire, if you burnt it all in here, this would last hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. That amount of wood is going to burn off fairly quickly, surprisingly enough. So we will put that there. That's basically how they work. So then you get the wood gas coming out the top. Now, these things, these are just your everyday wood pellets. I bought these years ago. I paid $6.50 for a 40-pound pack. And I can tell you now, these things burn for absolutely ages. So I will show you how I do it. What I do is I fill them up so they're just below those little air holes. And look at that, I got a little bit extra. People ask me, can you top them up afterwards? I will show you. Yeah. Now, to get this going, this is the tricky bit with these, because to get these to actually light these pellets, it's a little bit of a pain in the rear end. I mean, you see all these people making videos and then it will cut right now, and then hey presto, you come back and there's this beautiful flame burning out of there and everything's wonderful. However, the reality is not that at all. What I'm looking for is to see, make a pair of tongs. What I'm looking for is some embers, because I'm going to put those embers on there. If I can get them in there without dropping them in the snow. See if we get some more. Now, you're probably thinking, hey, that's not much of a fire you got going there, and you're quite right, it isn't. However, I can get some of these in here. I will show you a little trick. I can put a cotton ball in there and set light to that, and hopefully we'll be good. However, this is a little air tube. I think I'm going to have to put some small pieces in here just to get these going. Now you can, if you had a little butane torch or whatever, you can put those in there and get those going. Going to go? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Now, if I can keep that going, it'd be very surprising. So so rather handy. Thinking about it now, I could cheat and I could just put a cotton ball in there and it'd be away in no time whatsoever. However, I'm trying to show you the reality of lighting these things, and this is what the guy said the other day. He said he couldn't really see what was going on. Well, there's smoke coming out of there, so I know there's something hot in there. Let's see if I can get some more embers. Like I say, I could put a cotton ball in there. It would be away in no time whatsoever. However, so I'm going to do exactly that. Put a cotton ball in it. I'm quite certain you don't want to sit there watching me huffing and puffing on that. So this is the reality of lighting these Ohuhu stoves. You need a little bit of something just to get it going, to get that heat going. And everybody out there watching now is going to go, oh look, you got the fire above the holes. I don't know how many people said that to me. I know I have. And that's what I'm trying to show you. In order to get these going, quite often you have to do that. And this will now light, it will burn down into the fuel. And then once that really gets going in there, we're away. Yeah. So what's happening now, the outside of this stove, that outside wall is cold. The inside wall of this stove is starting to heat up, and as it's heating up, it's sucking air in here. At the moment, some of that air is going up through the fire, through the bottom of the fire, and that's what's making it burn, obviously, because you need the oxygen for the combustion of the wood gas. As that inside wall of the twin wall, as the inside wall heats up, the air between it will rise. It'll start creating a draft, like a chimney kind of effect. It'll come up the side, so will the smoke apparently from that fire. It'll come up the side, suck in the air, mix with the wood gas, and then once it's, go away smoke, once it starts to burn, we will have a really good fire going in here. We'll have a really good setup. At the moment, what we have is a really good amount of smoke. Yeah, there's flame down in the bottom there. I can see flame in there. As long as there's flame in there, I'm not too worried. Yeah. But this is the actual reality of lighting these things. Quite often you'll see people cut away now if they're making these videos. I do like this little blower thing. Actually works good. I can get a good fire in there without having to get my face right down to the fire like you would normally, down on your hands and knees next to the fire, huffing and puffing. We've all done it. It's one of those things you don't really need to do it if you don't have to. One of these is brilliant. It comes with a little fire steel as well. There's a little fire steel in there. I have seen people pour fuel on these things to get them going. I'm not sure that I'd really want to do that, but some people do it. I'm not sure that's such a good plan. Yeah. If I had my tongs, I could get some nice embers out of there. I don't have those with me, unfortunately. But she is starting to burn. Yeah. Let me pay attention to my other fire. I broke up my fire pokey stick. Get some heat in there. Kind of neglecting this fire over here at the moment. Oh, that's not good. Right, I'm going to let that get going and I'll get back to you in a moment. Right, so I've just swapped my battery out because my battery wasn't doing too good. It has been about, I'm going to say 5 minutes or so since my last bit of video. The getting all the stuff organised, trying to keep everything out in the snow. It takes a long time to get fires going. Takes a long time to get the heat going, but it takes one good splash of snow in the bottom there, and you've got nothing. It's starting to go. Yeah. Now this stove on a full charger pellets will run for about best part of an hour, so it'll be there a while. So not too worried about that. My other fire's doing very well. Yeah. Super hot. So while I'm waiting for all this stuff to do its thing, I will have a cup of tea. I can hear the water starting to boil. That's a good thing with these stoves. Literally, a large handful of pellets, like you saw what I put in there, is not much. A few sticks to get it going, and hey presto, you can cook a huge amount of food on literally a handful of sticks. And that's the good thing with these stoves. That's exactly what they were designed for. Oh, that is good tea. Yep. Face full of campfire smoke, hot cup of tea, sitting on a log in the middle of nowhere. My son has decided it's going behind a cloud over there, so I have dropped the sunshine down a little bit. So my blue sky is now a light grey, yeah, but I'm not too worried. My water is starting to bubble in there already. Just got little bubbles coming. And I haven't even got a full-on gasified fire going in under here yet. But the water, you'll see a nice little ring of flame coming out of there. Once this gets going, once I get to that point, I will show you that. At the moment, still cooking breakfast. say, it is -9 today, so it is a little chilly. I think it warmed up to about -5. I think it said mid-morning -5. This afternoon, possible snow. Oh, and my fire is falling to pieces. That's never a good idea. And my bits are falling in the snow. There we go. Good work. So it's very, very tricky with a campfire this time of the year, because the backside of that campfire is now nothing but water. So you can see that's getting hot. That's almost getting to the point where I can get the oatmeal magic going on. And today's oatmeal surprise is, what do we got here? That says regular. This says maple and brown sugar. So apparently that is my surprise today. On this little table. My fire is getting it. A little bit too much wood in there actually. But it is starting to gasify. You can see these little, I don't know if you can see those there, those little flames coming up the side. I can't take this back off just yet because it's rather hot and I need that to boil my water. So once these things start to burn, you can just get your water on there and you can get going with it. So, but this is the reality of Ohuhu stoves. I've seen lots and lots of videos where you'll see people lighting them and then 2 minutes later you see this nice big ring of flame and what have you. The reality is it actually takes a little while. However, it will do this, it will burn for, like I say, an hour on a handful of fuel. So they're very efficient. Everything fits in my little pot along with all my other stuff that goes with it. Very, very simple to use. Can't get no easier than just that. But they are a little tricky to light. So anytime you see a video and 2 seconds later the guy's got these amazing flames on it, there's a little bit of time lapse going on there. There's yes, there's a good time interval between those events. So yeah, and get some flame in to get rid of some of this smoke. But there's so much water around my fire now, it's the logs in the bottom are actually struggling. I don't necessarily want to put any more fuel on there at the moment because the sun is there. Looking at the amount of fuel I got, by the time it gets to there it's going to be burnt through, and then I only have that much, which is about that much sky, to actually walk back out of here. So don't want to be walking through here in the dark, so that's never a good plan. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's starting to sizzle. If I can do something with this. I do have more wood that I can put on there. Like I say, I'm not sure how long I'm going to be here. I have bubbles across the entire bottom of my pan now, and I think I have enough water in that. It's the only thing with oatmeal, it's always a bit hit and miss as to how much water you put in, because it's easy to overdo it. I can always add a little bit of extra water when you're doing oatmeal, that's not a problem. However, taking some out, that's not so easy. I think I will add another little splash. That's probably enough. Get back in there. There we go. Oh yeah, that was almost a perfect amount. Needs a little bit more. And one thing you can't do with these stoves is regulate the heat very well. So to regulate heat, you are literally taking the pot off as you're getting pretty bloody hot. Snowflakes. They did say it might snow this afternoon, so that is entirely possible. So if I get caught in a blizzard out here in a minute, around here anything's possible. It is starting to snow, I can see it. Right, and that, that's hot. That's how you make oatmeal. So I'm going to let that burn. I don't know what the time is now, but I'll let that burn. Let it burn all the way through. Now I've got the pot off there. Once I've eaten this, I'll take that top ring off, and you should be able to see the wood gas around the top. My other fire is not doing so well. That was very good. Right, let's do the dishes. Because oatmeal tends to stick to the bottom of the pan, so put some water in there. I've got snow on the bottom. Shit. Yeah. I don't want to put my fire out. Just want it to melt a bit. And the idea of that, so I can just let that burn up through. Get a little bit of liquid water in there, then I can wash that out. In the meantime, I should really pay attention to my other fire, because if I don't, it'll go out. snow was almost melted. Getting there. Secret to doing this with your hands: don't let the water get too hot first. You want hot water, not boiling water. Do this with boiling water, it's not good, especially out here. Right, how are we looking? That looks certainly good enough till I get home. Clean up the bottom of the pan and cool it down. I can just do that. Yeah, it's actually not too bad. Clean up the rest of that when I get home. That's good. And dry. Now, if I can get this metal ring off here without burning myself. So we haven't, it hasn't even got right down into the wood charge in there yet. That's still a bit warm. Oh yeah, that's hot. Let that cool. So this will burn for a very considerable period of time now. So I'm going to let that burn. I'll wait until I've got the beautiful little ring of heat around there that everybody likes to see. Then I'll show you that. Right. Well, I just had a bit of a disaster. If you look over by the fireplace, as I was putting some wood on the fire, I accidentally kicked the Ohuhu stove over. As you can see, there's lots of wood pellets next to the fire now. Oops. Yeah. And that kind of made a mess of that. So, oh well. I didn't get to show you the nice little fire ring and all that kind of good stuff at the same time. So, unfortunately, I will now have to let that all cool down. That's a bugger. It was actually going very well as well. So unfortunately I just stepped over to do the put some more logs on the fire and move it around. Unfortunately ended up kicking this over. But as you can see, it doesn't take long to cool down. That piece is good. So the other reality of Ohuhu stoves is be careful how you walk around them. Cool down, yeah, good. So what I will do is I will put all this lot back together. All in there. Well, that was a grade 1 disaster, that was. Best made plans and all that. I like to try and get that in there if I can. Then it's all bolted down nice, but I've got to be careful not to make a hole in that. I don't like wasted space in things, so when I'm packing stuff up, I like to have everything fitting in a container. I don't like empty space. I don't like things that rattle. I don't like empty space. So unfortunately, not a lot I can do about the rattle at the moment. But I can tell you now that sun's gone behind that cloud, the temperature is dropping fast, and tonight it is supposed to go down to about -15, -18, and it is starting to snow. So what I'm doing is just making sure I have everything where I need it, so that when I need to bail out of here, which will be fairly shortly, everything is ready to go. What else has to go back in there? Tea. Yes. Unfortunately, yes, that wasn't so good kicking that over, but not a lot I can do about it. Yes, oh well. Yeah, I can really feel that start to drop. That wind has changed. The temperature has dropped. I will need to start thinking about packing up and getting out of here, because I've got a fair distance to go back. Bloody jays have turned up now. Yes, I can hear. Yeah, I hear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drink this tea. I have some hot tea left over. I have water. Always make sure that you have enough stuff with you, because if I get halfway back, I've got a big bag of trail mix in there and what have you. Oh yeah, I can feel it. It's starting to shiver. Yeah. I'm going to have to put my coat on in a second. Just drink my tea, and then my coat's going to have to go on. That's the thing around here. People go hiking, they go off out in the mountains, and they think, oh, it's a lovely day. But that cloud has just obscured the sun. So the heat that's coming out, I can see the cloud. Normally comes from the west, which is over here. It swung round, it's coming from the north. So we've literally just turned into a north wind. And that might account for why we're about to hit the -20s again. I like to burn my campfires right down until there's nothing left of them. But that is not going to happen today. Okay, that has changed. That weather has changed around pretty darn quick. So I will put my coat on, start preheating my coat. Because my coat has been off, obviously the heat value in here is not much. So it sounds silly, but before you're getting ready to move out somewhere, make sure your coat's warm. This fire, I'm going to stack up. I'm going to see if I can get this burning real hot real fast. Right. When I have fires, I don't like having unburnt fuel left over. But today I don't have any choice. So, yep. Come here, you. There is so much water around the top of this fire. As soon as anything rolls out of it, it just goes out. Let me save one stick. I'm going to go and put these away. I'll put my chair away. That's my wood store taken care of. See if I can encourage this to burn a bit faster. pieces are nice and dry. I just don't like leaving partially burnt firewood laying around. I may have to with this one. I don't like to. Everything is packed away. Whew. That was a quick tidy up. Just leave that out there. Yes, that was a very quick tidy up. As you can see, burns a fairly decent sized hole in here. Pull in all these pieces around the side. Like I say, this is all super chewed up in here, all melted down. Trouble is, there's a lot of water in here. Oh, and the smoke's going straight towards the camera. Get some flame and we get rid of that smoke for you. Like I say in many of my other videos around here, you've got to be really careful because you can go from reasonable to really nasty weather very, very fast. So I will pack up this tripod and stuff and get back to you in a moment. Right. Campfire is extinguished, everything is put out, soaked down. Just poured the best part of my water on there and then soaked it all down. No heat in there whatsoever. Stirred it all up, nothing sizzling, nothing, not doing nothing. It's actually a swamp all around my fire at the moment. My fire was going out faster than it would actually burn, actually, because I didn't intend it to be a long fire. If I did, I'd have kept clearing the water out in the snow, but she is out now. The sun is kind of over there behind those trees. My blue sky has vanished, as you can see, and that sky over there is grey as hell. And that's coming my way and it's starting to snow already, so I need to get out of here because the temperature is dropping fast. Now that's the reality of getting in here. So that's how deep that snow is. And as you can see, it's a bit of a pain to get out of here. I have to wade through about half a kilometre of this crap before I can get to anything that even resembles a trail. And then it's another couple of kilometres down that to get to where I need to be. As you can see, it's a little steep in here. You have to be careful. If you go down the bottom of there, that snow can be really deep in the bottom of there. So I'm going to head on and we'll catch you later. Good grief, look at all this lot. Yeah, it's a good day in the mountains. Any day in the mountains is a good day, I can tell you. So yeah, it's a bit of a trudge, but it's well worth it. Right, catch you on the next one.